Hello everyone, this is Diraka Developer and welcome to my channel. So today I'll be starting the tutorial. Let's go on with it. First you need to open the Unity editor, and I'm not going to teach you how to open the Unity editor. So after you open the editor, you'll have a similar type of interface like this, but it won't be like black because it's the pro version and you have to pay for it. So let's get on with it. First you need to create a scene. Let's name this test or game scene. Why? What is a scene? So scene is basically the level you are going to design, and since we are going to design a 3D, this is an empty space and this is the world for your game, and basically everything in here is your game scene. So let's change it a bit here. Okay, so in the scene what we have is a camera. So this is our camera, and it actually renders everything that you can see in your game. This is the view of the camera. Okay, and this is a directional light. I will explain light later. So for let's remove it first. So we don't have any light. This is how the game scene looks like. I wish I could show you in a better view, but my monitor is just too small. Let's create a game object and name it 3D object. So this is our cube, and let's set it to 0 0 0 location. So in our game scene we can see it there. Okay, but there is no color because I turned off the light. Let's turn on the light, then we can see the color, but it is still white. I can change the color of the cube, but let's forget about it for now. So this is the camera and this is the game scene. Let's put it side by side. If I move the camera, this is how the game will look like. So I hope you understand what the camera does. This is basically the what will let you see what's happening in the game. Now let's work in our game. So this is a 3D object. This is a 3D mesh, what you call, and these are the tools. I think you should play around with it. This, if you select this one, you can move the game object. The game object, we call these game objects. Everything in the scene is a game object, and moving is called translation. I hope you know that, but this is called translation, just remember that. So this is the properties of this game object. Let's forget about this for now. So this is the transform property. So transform property defines defines the size, what is the rotation, or what is the position of the game object in the 3D space, and you can see that values are changing if when I move it from here to there. So I can resize it and select this one to resize your 3D game object. So if I pull this one, look, the scale is getting long. You can directly change it from here also and put a value here as well, or something like that. Then you can pull it from there, you can pull it from here, and you can always change it from here as well. And if you want to scale it properly, then just click here and pull it. It will just resize itself. And there is also another tool that can be used to resize, this one, but this is usually used for 2D game design. You don't really need it for, you shouldn't use it unless you know what you are doing. because it is actually giving you a 2D perspective, and I will recommend not to jump into 2D first, because it's actually harder to make a 2D game than a 3D game. Just trust me on that. And this tool gives you the rotation capabilities of your model. You can select it and just rotate it, and also you can do this from here as well. So let's set it to 0 0 0 and scale like 1 1 1, and I want it to have a bit wider, just like the game proposed. I'm going to design it as a platform, so rename this as a platform. You can rename this to anything. Oh, sorry. It doesn't matter, just it's some convention you should follow yourself. Then let's see how the game looks like. This is what our game looks like. Now we need a ball. Let's bring another ball, a 3D game object. Unity provides us a few of the basic models, but you for this game you will not need anything else. So let's go on with the sphere. So where is the sphere? Oh, sorry. So if you select something and then try to add it, it will add as a child. I will show that later, but let's re-import it again. Sphere, this is our sphere. We have our sphere here. So if you touch it like in the box, you can move it around in 3D space, but I would strongly recommend not to try using that. Pull with the axis only, so you will have a control over your game movement. So this is our editor, and when you move to our game scene, this is the scene we'll see. If we hit play button, we'll be redirected to this scene, and the game is playing but nothing is happening. Why? Because we didn't tell anything to the game. It's just a static object. We didn't add any kind of rules that will make it fall down or something. So let's go add some rules or something. So let's rename this to ball, and so what we need is that this ball needs to fall down like that. And we know a real life property that is called physics, so we need to add it, give it some gravity that will allow it to have fall down. Okay, so Unity made our life very easy. We don't really have to do a lot of stuff like programming for physics engine. The basic maths are done. So what we can do is just like go to select your game object here, then press add component, and here we can add here is the physics, and this is the rigid body. So what rigid body does is gives the game object a property that makes it follow the rules of physics. So we can have a property called mass and use gravity. This is what we need. So if we now play the game, we can see that the ball falls down and it actually collides with the box. So I didn't show you how it works, but wait, let me show you. This shouldn't happen actually. This should fall down like this. Okay, this ball collided because the platform had a property called collider. What is a collider? This is basically a box that is like defining where the physics should react. This is called the collider. We'll go into details in collider later, but know this much for now. Okay, so what should I show you now? Okay, I'm going to show you how the material changes works. Okay, let's create a material for the get a material. Let's get a material like ball mat. So what is a material? Material is actually a property that defines what should be the coloring and the texturing of the game object should look like. It has a default material. We are going to add it here, and now we are going to change its properties. Let's make our ball look see, it changes now. Let's make a red ball, green ball, okay. And we can also make it change various properties or whatever, and you can see how it looks in the game. Let's put it here, and there are a lot of options to select from. For example, I'll show those later. So this is our ball, and here we have the color, but it doesn't move because we haven't told it how to move. Now let's give this material, this game object, a color also as well. We can use the same material, but it's not a good idea to make it use the same material, because if I change this here, it will also change the color of the ball. We don't want that. What we would like to do is create another material. Let's call it platform map, and add it to the platform, and let's give it a color like brown or something. Okay, this is how the game looks now. And you can also see that shadow, it's casting on real time because of that directional light. Let's remove that light, and you can see that there is no color actually. So without light everything is dark. So for now let's turn it on, and we are going to actually use directional light for this tutorial altogether. I'm not going to maybe I'll show point light. So there are 4 types of light. I'll go into details with those later. So I think this is enough for today's tutorial. That will be all. Yeah.